Hi, I'm Michael Senoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive. Well, with copywriting, you could have the most beautiful sales letter in the world, with every advantage, with every question asked, with the most beautiful paper and stories and success stories and everything you're going to learn in that Masterson's course and any course on copywriting. It could be perfect, but it will fail miserably if your crowd isn't starving or even hungry. Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. Here's about a 50-minute consult I did with a lady named April. April contacted me after being very frustrated from another copywriting seminar she had purchased. She's looking for answers on how to start her copywriting business. In this recording is some consulting advice on how she can obtain this in the shortest time possible. I go into 3 ways to research your market and give her general philosophies about my thoughts on copywriting. We also talk about how to use talking or copy talking to create effective copy in a more natural, more compelling manner. I hope this recording helps you gain some new insight on copywriting. Get ready, let's go. Okay, it says, hello, my name is April, and I'm a mom of 2. I homeschool, and my husband's job's constantly being threatened. Anyway, I stumbled upon copywriting about a year ago. It sounded very tempting to me. I love to write and thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to stay home with the boys and make money in case my husband loses his job. So I bought a course, and the support from the course is really none. If you call to ask a question, they don't offer any solutions. Keep in mind, they stressed how they could help anyone become a copywriter. I'll be honest, I did not know anything about this business, and because of people like you, I'm finally finding my way. However, I still do not have a niche market. I still do not know where to start, and I'm at my wit's end. I really would appreciate any advice you could give. I have gone on several free teleconferences, which have been wonderful. Again, thank you for your time, and any advice you could give would be greatly appreciated. Sincerely, April Daughtry. And you're in Kentucky.
Yes.
All right, tell me, what did you sign up for? What company?
It was the AWAI.
AWAI.
I got the 6-figure course.
6-figure course. How much was that? I'm curious.
It was right at $500.
And that was taught by Michael Masterson.
Mm-hmm.
Did it include audios with it? I've never actually seen that course, but what do you get with that course?
You get a binder with several sections in it, kind of leading you from the very beginning. You have the closing, unique selling points, things like that throughout. It comes with a DVD, but it's very brief. It's just an introduction.
So it's mainly a written course that you study like a guide?
Yeah.
There's no audio with it or anything?
No, it's just like I said, the DVD or CD-ROM you put in your computer. It's just Michael Masterson basically explaining how he came upon the course and helped Paul Hollingsdale become a copywriter and that type of thing. It really makes it sound really good.
You're a mom of 2. How old are your boys?
They're 6 and 7.
Okay. I've got a 6.5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, so I know how it is. Tell me your experience with writing. You say you like writing. Were you always good at creative writing, or what do you like about writing? And have you had any experience in writing, like poetry or stories or what?
I actually have 2 poems printed in the International Library of Poetry. And through high school, I was always in the advanced English. And I had a teacher that really inspired me. I really liked it, being creative, and I'm actually also taking a course, Institute for Children's Literature. And so I'm working with an instructor there to help me get published in children's books is what I want to write. So I really like it. I used to also work retail, and I feel like I can sell pretty well.
What did you do retail? Where were you working?
I worked at Service Merchandise.
Okay.
I think it went bankrupt.
So you've done retail, you like people, and you think you can sell, and you're published in a couple of the poetry books. And is that your ideal goal, is to get published as a children's book author?
Yeah, I would like to do that.
And the idea as far as being able to write and make money with your writing is something that interested you too?
Yeah, with the copywriting, I thought that it would be fairly easy. It's been harder than I thought to actually try to sell something on paper because I've just taken a product from home, try to list all these things about it to try to sell it. I feel like I could do it if I just get taught the proper steps.
Sure you can.
And I'm a doer, so I can read, but I have to read 5 or 6 times. Show me and do it 3 times and I tick on it.
You got to have a starting point. So if you could learn all the steps of writing, you got to know, well, what's the goal? What are we trying to do? And obviously copywriting is using writing to sell. It's basically selling in person, but you're selling on paper. So you take the one-on-one personal selling like you did with service merchandise, like a customer standing in front of you and they're asking about the TV set or whatever. It's the same thing except you're transferring it on paper. Now that can be very difficult because we don't naturally sell on paper and we don't naturally talk to people on paper, do we? You know, we got to learn that in school, and it can be grueling because it's not a natural thing. But if someone came up to you and you were familiar with the products at Service Merchandise and said, April, can you tell me about this and why should I buy it? You probably wouldn't have to think too much, would you?
No.
You could do it naturally, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What I want to show you is how to take that natural ability to sell by talking to another human being one-on-one and how to get that transferred onto paper without it being an effort. But first I want to ask you, do you have any idea of what you want to sell? Is it that you want to sell your service as a copywriter, as improving someone's advertisements, or selling your service as a copywriter to help someone else's writing be better? You know, some people are better editors, and let's say you hired yourself as a copywriter or as a writing expert, where you can look and analyze someone's writing, whether it's for their website or whether it's for a letter they're sending out about the product or service they sell, or any of their written communication that they're currently using in their business. And some people are really very, very good at taking and looking at what they've already done and editing it, making it better, but they have something to work with, compared to taking an idea from zero, from a blank sheet of paper, into a whole sales presentation. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
You know, some people can give great advice on people's situations, but they can't use the advice for themselves.
Right.
What do you feel like you want to sell? Did you get into the Masterson course to learn how to sell your service as a copywriter, or more just to learn how to write better yourself so you could sell your own product? What direction would you like to take it if you were to move on with it?
That's something I struggle with. I had talked to a guy named Bob Martell. He does Yellow Beach ads, and he did a teleconference with Mike Marshall and Ryan Healy, and that sounded pretty interesting to me. I feel like I could help somebody promote their business.
He was making money rewriting people's Yellow Page ads?
Yeah, he would go to the business and see if they were doing anything to progress their business, help them in other ways as well. But he would take information about the company and just create a Yellow Page ad for the company and then have that published in the Yellow Page ad, which also ended up for long term. So
he would charge them for the service of recreating their existing Yellow Page ad, or if they didn't have one, creating a Yellow Page ad, and he would position himself as an expert and say that he could do it better than the sales reps at the Yellow Page ad company.
Yeah.
And was he talking about how he was making all this money doing that?
Well, he said that he would charge appropriately. That way it wouldn't scare people off. He would charge so he would get more business from them. So I think maybe for like a small column, well, not a column, I can't remember what he said, but smaller ads. I believe he was charging around $500 and going on up to maybe $1,000, possibly a little more for the larger ads.
On that teleconference, was he trying to sell you something, a course or anything?
No.
Okay, he was just talking about his experience. He really liked that business and did pretty well with it?
Yeah, he said that's how he makes his living.
Is his main thing Yellow Page ads?
I believe so. I think that's his main, and then whatever other business he creates for himself from that.
It's a way to get in the door.
Yeah.
And that's smart. You know why? Because 99% of businesses can understand that. They understand Yellow Page ads. Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.